Hey guys, welcome back to Blue Mountain Bushcraft and Outdoors. Today I'm going to be bringing you something a little bit different than my normal offerings and in a little bit different format. So hopefully you enjoy it, and if you don't, make sure you leave me some comments down below. Okay guys, so let me get some business out of the way first. I want to let you know that both of these knives were sent to me by GearBest to review. I've been dealing with GearBest as a customer for a couple of years now, and I've always been very happy with them. So from time to time they've approached me to review some things. I've brought you a few other Chinese offerings in the past which I thought were pretty good, and these are no different. So all the links to purchase these will be down below. These are both Ganzo knives, and Ganzo again is another company that I have been dealing with as a customer for quite a few years. I can tell you that over the years Ganzo has really stepped up their game, and with these two knives that I have here for you guys to check out today, I think they are reaching the pinnacle of their game, at least thus far. Okay, so let's start off with this one. This is the Ganzo G7531 carbon fiber, and as you can see it has carbon fiber scales. It's got this really cool blue anodized hardware, the pivot screw, the thumb stud, the screws here that hold the knife together, as well as the screws here holding the pocket clip in place. It is an axis lock design, which is a point of contention for a lot of people since that is a Benchmade originated design, but Ganzo uses it, so it is what it is. If you find that offensive, don't buy their knives. On this model, the blade length is about 3 5/8 inches long, with a cutting edge of about 3 1/2. The handle length is about 4 5/8 inches long and provides pretty nice grip. Feels good in the hand. There is some jimping along the back, however it's not aggressive. It's enough to provide a little bit of traction but not be obnoxious. As well as right here. Again, it's enough to provide just a little bit of traction, but it doesn't really dig into your hand and it doesn't hurt. So that's pretty nice. This does have carbon fiber scales and stainless steel liners. Now, one of my complaints with Ganzo up until these two knives were that they're pretty chunky. They're heavy knives. They didn't do anything to remove any weight or skeletonize them. Well, that's changed here. And hopefully you can see that those liners have now been milled out and skeletonized on both sides. Ganzo has created this as a partial flow-through design with what I believe is a G10 backspacer. It has some grooves milled out of it, but doesn't really provide much in the way of traction. It just looks kind of cool. There's a large opening here for a lanyard. And I gotta tell you, this thing is really smooth. This knife was smooth right out of the box. Ganzo uses a combination of a single phosphor bronze and a single Teflon washer on the inside here, and I gotta tell you, it feels really good. So the pocket clip is stainless steel. It's a very nice design. It's got a pretty generous opening here for fitting into the pockets of pants that are reinforced. It's nice and strong, doesn't feel flimsy. I've never had an issue with any of Ganzo's pocket clips getting loose on me, so they've done a pretty sweet job there. Blade centering, you can see here, is damn near perfect, and as is, there is a tiny bit of blade play that has worked its way into this as I've flipped it I don't know how many thousands of times. So I haven't adjusted it at all. I'll probably need to retension the pivot screw just a tiny bit. But like I said, right out of the box, this thing was smooth as can be. And it had almost no blade play. So really, I think that's just a matter of break-in, something easily fixed. You'll see that the pivot screws here have these ridges in them, these notches. Those are there for decoration only. The actual bearing surface inside is a standard Torx bit on both sides. So you shouldn't have any trouble finding the tools necessary to disassemble this or adjust it if you want to. And frankly, I think this is probably the sexiest knife that I've seen Ganzo do yet. However, as cool as this is, it's not my favorite. I want to introduce you to what has become one of my all-time favorite EDC knives. Another Ganzo, obviously. It is a flipper design. And this thing sets the standard for smooth. This is not as lightweight as the carbon fiber one that I just showed you. However, the weight I don't find to be objectionable at all. It's got a nice deep carry pocket clip, and I just really like this thing a lot. So what is it, and what sets it apart from some of the other Ganzos? Well, this one is the 7522. As you can see, it has the similarly styled blue anodized hardware on it. This one has black G10 scales with some decent texturing on it. There's a partial flow-through design. Again, it's got that black milled G10 backspacer that goes halfway through the blade or through the handle. Very nice deep carry pocket clip. This one, instead of using the G-lock or the axis lock, is what Ganzo calls a frame lock. However, if you look at this, I kind of consider this more of a hybrid design. Lockup is very secure, and the action is just ridiculously smooth. It flips beautifully from either the thumb studs or from the flipper. The D10 on this knife is solid. It's very good. It's probably just a tiny bit on the heavy side, but just a tiny bit. It's darn near perfect. And a nice little hole here for a lanyard, which I'm actually considering putting a small lanyard on here just because this rides so deeply in the pocket that it can be a little bit more difficult to get out. Pocket clip on here is repositionable, right side only, sorry lefties, but tip up or tip down. I carry it in the tip up position. Blade length on here is about 3 3/4 with a 3 5/8 inch cutting edge. The Handle is about 4 5/8 inch overall. Very hand filling. No major jimping here to speak of. There's a little bit here on the back of the blade and some milled out portions here in the G10, but again, they really don't provide too terribly much in the way of traction. There's no jimping anywhere else. The G10 is moderately grippy. It's not overly aggressive, but it's not slippery either. The edges and corners are all nicely rounded and beveled. Transitions are nice and smooth. You can feel a little bit of a ridge line here. A little bit more of one here. But no ridges or raised spots or rough edges really anywhere on this knife. Pretty impressed. Lockup, as you can see, is pretty late. We're probably running, I don't know, about 70% there. And it was, I'd say, probably 50% when I got it. And it has broken into where you see it now and really just hasn't budged in probably better part of a month. So I think it's settled into where it's going to settle into. The blade on this thing is awesome. It is a high saber grind with this really cool fuller. I really like that. Lightens the blade a little bit and it's just aesthetically really neat. The edge on this as delivered was razor sharp. I should mention here that all of Ganzo's knives use 440C steel, and I have no reason to disbelieve that. I've used plenty of knives with the 8CR13 and some of the cheaper Chinese steels, and this is considerably better steel than that is. I have done a lot of cutting with this knife, and the only thing that I have done to this is to touch it up on some ceramic rods and to strop it, and it is still ridiculously sharp. The edge on this came just about perfect, and it holds an edge extremely well. There is another channel out there called Birdshot who did a cut comparison using, what did they use? What? I think they used this knife. This is another Ganzo, an older model. Yep, blatant copy of the Rat 1, except it's got an axis lock. And another just simply excellent blade. But in any case, they did a cut comparison between this and an actual Rat 1, and the steel on the Ganzo just seriously outperformed the Rat 1's Aus 8 steel. So if you feel like checking that out, you know, that's another channel, Birdshot 4 I think it's called. You can look that up. But I've been using their knives for years. Their steel is very good. It's not cheap garbage. So back to the 7522. You can see on this one, get the angle right, that they have also milled out the liners on here. It's going to be hard for you to see that side. But they are milled all the way through on both sides. And what really sets this apart from the other Ganzos is the pivot. Whereas this knife and the Rat 1 copy that I showed you both use the phosphor, bronze, and Teflon washers to good effect. This is the first Ganzo that I'm aware of that uses ball bearings. Yeah, you heard me right, this thing's got bearings in it, and it feels like it. This thing's developed a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. It's barely perceptible, guys. And frankly, the other flipper with bearings that I have is an Emerson, which is a better knife than this one, hands down. Better materials, better fit and finish, smoother, but it's also a $225 knife. This thing's phenomenal. It feels like it's riding on rails. But this is just so smooth, so easy to use. It holds a fantastic edge. And I just absolutely love the knife. It's excellent. Absolutely excellent. Okay, so now on to the crazy part, which is the prices. This knife right here on GearBest site today, when I'm making this, is $17. This one right here is $20. Guys, I don't know how they make these knives at these prices and at this quality, but they do, and I really highly recommend you go snatch one up if you're looking for a good, hard use, high quality EDC knife. Now, normally I'd end right here, but I told GearBest that if I was going to review these, that I wanted to be able to share the love with my viewers, so we're going to be doing a giveaway. Okay, so the giveaway are going to be for these two knives. This one is obviously different, as you can see by the green scales. This one is exactly the same as the one that I've been carrying. However, it is completely brand new, unused. I just pulled it out of the box to show them to you guys. So GearBest was very generous in donating these two to me to be able to donate to you. Okay, so how do you participate in this giveaway, you might ask? Well, it's very simple. All you need to do is comment down below that you're in and be a subscriber of my channel, and that's it. In 2 weeks from the posting of this video, we'll come back and we'll do one of those random comment generator things. I'll figure it out. I've never used one of those before, but they don't look too hard. And we'll pick one of you, and as long as you meet the requirements, you'll win one of these knives. So we'll do 2 of those. And I want to thank GearBest for sending me these knives to review for you guys and to give away to you guys, and let you know that I would not be bringing them to you if I didn't think they were quality, and they are. So are these the absolute best, highest quality knives that I own? No, they're not. But for the price that you're paying for them, currently $17 and $20, there is absolutely nothing in this price range that I am aware of that can even come close to these blades. They're strong, they're well made, the fit and finish is quite good, the designs are nice, they're just really, really outstanding, highly functional knives. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg on them. You don't have to feel bad about beating them up, about using them. If you break one, which I have never broken a Ganzo, and I have batoned with them, I've chopped with them, I've done stupid things with them just to see what had happened. You can do what you want with them. You can get a couple of them, have one as a backup. But they're a good high value knife, and Ganzo is really, really stepping up their game of late. So comment down below, guys, links to both of these knives to purchase one for yourself will also be down there. Please use those links. It will help out my channel just a little bit. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to try your hand at winning one of these, make sure you comment down below and make sure you're a subscriber. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks a lot. See ya.